from the News Center in high definition. This is News Channel 8 on your side today.
Good morning and welcome to News Channel 8 Today. I'm Gail Guayardo.
I'm Rod Carter. Thanks very much for joining us. This morning, Olympics star Oscar Pistorius is at a South African courthouse this morning for his bail hearing in the murder case of his girlfriend.
And the Carnival cruise ship Triumph is docked in Alabama finally this morning. We are going to have live coverage on that story coming up. But first, let's go to Storm Team 8 meteorologist Lee Spann, who's in the forecast center.
And good morning, guys. I'm hearing reports that now one of the buses carrying those passengers broke down. That is just a tough story. All right, talking more about the weather now. Cloudy skies, a little drizzly in spots, and a little heavier rainfall down around the Highlands County area as we speak. It's also a little cooler than yesterday morning, actually 45. Our cool spot in Crystal River right now, 52 in Brooksville. Clearwater, you're at 58, Apollo Beach is at 57, and Bartow is at 58. By midday, still cloudy, still a rain chance, especially farther to the south, 64 degrees at midday. Notice that we do begin to clear out from north to south this evening, 54 degrees overnight, and then we track a big cold front. We'll talk more about that front coming up. But now let's check on the roadways, which could be a little bit wet out there, Leslie.
You definitely want to use some caution, folks. We've had quite a few accidents this morning. Fortunately, it's not slowing you down at all, but this one in St. Petersburg is actually on the southbound 275 exit to 22nd Avenue North, but it's not tying up any lanes, and traffic actually looks pretty good in that area. Also, this crash, southbound I-75, it's a hit and run right to the exit to Sun City Center, so be aware of that as well. Also, pulling out the camera real quick, I want you to see a wonderful drive across the Howard Franklin Bridge. No delays as you move across the water. That's a look at the roadways. Back to Gail.
All right, thanks, Leslie. We are following breaking news this morning about that crippled Carnival cruise ship after 5 days aboard without electricity or working bathrooms. Thousands of Carnival Triumph passengers are on land this morning. The ship pulled into the port of Mobile, Alabama late last night. Shortly after arriving, passengers began to disembark from the crippled cruise liner. Carnival says all of the passengers are off now, some so excited they were kissing the ground. The ship had to be towed from the Gulf of Mexico after an engine fire last week and left it without power.
More than 4,000 passengers and crew members were on board that disabled ship, so you can imagine how glad those folks are to be on dry land this morning. Well, you saw them kissing the ground there. News Channel 8's Chip Osowski is joining us live from the port of Tampa this morning with a reaction from passengers leaving that ship. Chip, good morning.
Well, good morning to you, Rod. When passengers arrive here at the port of Tampa, they're hoping to leave on the trip of a lifetime. Well, passengers on Carnival Triumph say their vacation was a trip of horrors. Just hours ago, the Carnival Triumph docked in Mobile, Alabama. Passengers got off the ship as quickly as they could. Some kissed the ground. Others ran to a waiting family member. All just happy to be back on dry ground.
It was the most challenging thing that I think I've ever done. It was literally like being in a floating porta potty, just human waste everywhere.
It was tough. It was very tough. We slept out on the decks. Ate a lot of sandwiches. We put the tents up on the Lido deck and also on the balconies just to protect us from the sun and the wind.
It was clearly not the ending to a perfect vacation. That being said, many passengers had nothing but good things to say about the crew on the Triumph.
The crew was great, though. They did a really great job on keeping our spirits up, but it was tough.
The crew on the boat, unbelievable. Those guys had worse conditions than we did, and they were serving us. I have to say,
cleaning up the messes,
nothing but nice things about the crew on the boat.
And Carnival CEO was in Mobile when Triumph docked. Coming up in our next half hour, we'll hear what he has to say about this failed voyage. Rod?
All right, Chip, thank you very much. Passengers were supposed to get a full refund and discounts on future cruises. And a Carnival announced on Wednesday that they would each get an additional $500 in compensation.
Northport police are ramping up their search for a man who's peeping in the windows of young women. They hope this new sketch will help them catch the guy. The creepy behavior has been going on for about a month, centered in this neighborhood just east of Chamberlain Boulevard. News Channel 8's Peter Bernard talked with a mother who caught him in the act.
And I don't want to worry that there's some creep looking at me in the woods.
Donna Carey says the Northport peeper peered into her teenage daughter's window a month ago and again a few weeks ago. Her daughter told her she heard taps on her window.
So I got up and, went outside like I usually do, came around the corner, and there was a guy standing there.
Carrie says she watched him watching her daughter for a few moments.
And he did a weird monkey thing with his hands, and I guess to scare me or something, and then took off.
Carrie got a good, solid look at the guy and helped make this sketch of what he looks like. She thinks he's about 19 to 24 years old and lives nearby. Northport police are offering some tips to neighbors who live in this area. One is to turn on your lights, lower your blinds, and be alert for anyone in the area that doesn't belong. The peeper usually hits around 11 at night. Northport police are watching out for the peeper, so he'll stop watching young women. In Northport, Peter Bernard, News Channel 8.
A developing story this morning out of Citrus County involving what can only be described as a horrific case of child abuse. A school nurse found a roach in the ear of a 9-year-old boy. She also saw roaches crawling out of his backpack. Authorities arrested Robert and Christina Forbes. Investigators found deplorable conditions in their home that put the boy's health and safety at risk. The child has since been placed in alternate care. A Hillsborough County woman is facing 15 counts of child pornography. State investigators, along with the Hillsborough Sheriff's Office, arrested 23-year-old Nadia Bishop yesterday. Officials from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement searched her Valrico home, and they found numerous images of child porn on her computer.
We learned a short time ago prosecutors plan to pursue premeditated murder charges against Paralympic superstar Oscar Pistorius. That's a developing story out of South Africa this morning. Oscar Pistorius, the double amputee sprinter charged in the Valentine's Day slaying of his girlfriend, left jail this morning covered in a gray suit jacket bound for court. Officers believe Pistorius murdered 30-year-old Riva Steenkamp with a 9mm pistol that they found inside his home in South Africa. Police are still trying to determine a motive, but say they have received calls in the past about domestic altercations at the home. Well, the Today Show starts in less than an hour.
Natalie Morales is joining us live from New York with a preview of what to expect. Natalie, good morning.
Good morning, Rod and Gail. And coming up on this Friday morning on Today, we're following a lot of breaking news. These incredible images out of Russia of a meteor streaking across the sky and exploding. This morning, more than 400 people are injured. We're going to get a live report. Also, Olympic sprinter Oscar Pistorius breaking down in court overnight as he is officially charged with his girlfriend's murder. We'll have new details on that investigation. Then the passengers of that disabled Carnival cruise ship finally back on dry land this morning, and we'll talk to some of them live, including a couple who actually got engaged on board. And Savannah and Matt are live on a Friday field trip in Boston this morning, and they're going to show you why it is such a unique city that has become a big draw for Hollywood. When we get started on a Friday morning here on Today. Gail and Rod, a lot going on here this morning and in Boston, so hope you guys have a great weekend.
Thank you very much. We're going to have to start the Friday field trips around here. I like that idea. Thanks,
I like
Natalie.
that.
It's 6:08. Running a marathon is hard enough.
But throw in a few obstacles intentionally, and it can get even harder. Coming up, we'll tell you why. In this race this weekend, you have to get down and dirty to make it to the finish line.
And we've got a collision working out in the Ruskin area, folks. I've got the details coming up with your True Speed traffic.
It may be just a little cloudy and drizzly as you get this Friday started. We checked in with Big Monkey in Crystal Beach, who says it's 57 degrees this morning, and we will make it up to about 69 in Tampa, 70 in Brandon, 70 in Inverness, a high of 69 in Apollo Beach, and 68 in Bradenton. Some clearing skies today, but we are watching a big cold front. I'll tell you when it gets here coming up. Don't forget Storm Team 8 is on the radio. You can hear us on News Radio 970 WFLA, and you can like us on Facebook. Just search for News Channel 8 Today. Click like and let us know what you're thinking about. It's 6:09 and you're watching News Channel 8 Today.